Elon Musk in the last day shared an article from a right-wing conspiracy fake news site in a reply to Hillary Clinton that he eventually took down. Eventually. You can see in this shot what she had put out about the guy who tried to murder Nancy Pelosi. He responded, there's a tiny possibility there might be more to this story than meets the eye. And he didn't just tweet that, he put this thing from the Santa Monica Observer, which you'll know is not a regular newspaper or a reputable news source or anything like that. You might have been able to tell from the headline, it was the awful truth. Paul Pelosi was drunk again and in a dispute with a male prostitute early Friday morning. And I wanna be super clear. That's the article that Elon Musk replied to Hillary Clinton with. He believed, because he saw it on an insane right-wing conspiracy site, that Paul Pelosi was not the victim of an assassin who broke into his home and tried to murder Nancy Pelosi. No, he just met up with a prostitute in the middle of the night and the prostitute decided to murder him. And what is the evidence for all this? A fervent desire to disconnect from reality and believe that everything is coming up right wing. And if we can make this at the end of the day about homophobia or anti-Semitism, that would make us a lot more comfortable. That's it. That's it. He eventually deleted the tweet after it had received 110,000 likes from more than 110,000 people who will now believe this because they believe that literally everything that Elon Musk says is true. And no amount of retractions are gonna change their mind, but then retractions are never going to come. This website, by the way, has claimed that Hillary Clinton died on September 11th and was replaced by a lookalike. A whole bunch of crazy nonsense. But why would we expect a billionaire like Elon Musk, who now has sole responsibility and authority over how fact checking and misinformation is handled on one of the largest social media sites in the world? How would we expect him to look beyond an insane headline like that and maybe look into this site and see whether it's reputable? But that's not who Elon Musk is. He saw the headline, he thought, that sounds more fun than the reality that our side is trying to murder the Democrats. So I'm just gonna play to the homophobia. That's what I'm gonna do.
And it goes to this, like, I can already see trolls going like, oh, Elon Musk was obviously joking, all right? Like, first of all, Elon Musk doesn't understand humor because that's not necessarily the time to make the joke. B, if it was a joke to make a point, because even if he's saying is a tiny possibility there might be more of the story, then like, why elevate that particular thing? Why elevate that comment? Like, why in a time when you are buying a social media network, which is one of the more ridiculous things ever, and it's gonna completely backfire on him. But when you're buying a social media network that's being criticized for having a lot of right-wing hatred, hell, the use of the N-word went up 500% plus in the days of him buying the service. And so when he's being talked about the consequences of people spreading this rhetoric online, and his response is, maybe in a joking fashion, I'm gonna spread some more misinformation, just for funsies. This doesn't really inspire a lot of confidence that Elon Musk knows what he's talking about when it comes to these things. He doesn't know that these are political problems that you can't engineer, to quote a writer who has talked about a lot of these things a lot. So I'm really kind of disgusted by Elon Musk as always, but he's gonna learn the hard, expensive way, and it'll be fun to watch. Hopefully I don't get banned during the process.
Yeah, we'll see.
Hey John, are you gonna pay $20 to keep your badge?
We're gonna talk about that a little bit later on. Don't worry about that. I don't know if he was being serious or if he did think that in the immediate aftermath of the attempted assassination of this guy, while the victim is still in the hospital, is a good time to joke. I don't know if the many people that have kept hashtag Pelosi gay lover trending for the last 24 hours, if they seriously believe it or are joking. But I want to be very clear. I do not care. It doesn't matter. It's the same thing. Whether they're pretending to really believe it or they just think it's fun to troll, what is indisputable is they don't care that someone tried to murder Nancy Pelosi. And a group of people who don't care if somebody failed to do it are gonna be perfectly fine with someone trying again. The guy who owns Twitter is acting like every single troll who's just waiting for Nancy Pelosi's head to be bludgeoned in, and that should worry us. It's not just him, by the way, that should be enough. He's the richest, potentially most powerful non-elected politician in the world. Dinesh D'Souza talks about how as a movie guy, just trying to make sense of this. Could this have been a romantic tryst that went awry? Pelosi said, "I want you to hammer me," or words to that effect. And the other guy took it literally and got to work just as the cops got there. That is totally how people talk. Dinesh D'Souza has very much actually had sex in real life. But the point is, he's joking, except revealing what he truly thinks, which is he doesn't care that someone tried to bash Paul Pelosi's brains out. The guy whose documentary they all watch, Glenn Greenwald, said it's very possible that the instantly formed media narrative, Paul Pelosi's attacker was a MAGA fanatic who broke in and murdered Nancy, will be proven true. But right now, there are so many glaring doubts and holes in that story that it just takes common sense to question this. Because what you will always hear from Glenn Greenwald for the rest of your life is, the right's probably right about everything. I mean, I'm not one of them, but they're always right about literally everything. You should probably just trust Dinesh D'Souza or Elon Musk, whoever, they're probably onto something. And it is trending as we speak. Don Jr., son of the former president, has a joke. He wants his costume, you see? His Halloween costume is he's gonna dress up like the guy who tried to murder Nancy Pelosi. You get the joke, America? Do you get the joke? The right wing is getting much better at humor and lefties are getting very nervous about it, Dan. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, the left can't meme. They're just upset that this torrent of free speech will unleash ideas that they won't be able to combat, such as violently murdering your enemies and your political enemies, and joking about their deaths, and making conspiracy theories that are thinly veiled, and lightly hoping that the next thing happens again and again in the future. It's, again, you keep waiting for the adults to be in the room to say, I am the Republican who doesn't like that this is happening. And you keep hearing crickets, but people still keep voting for these a-holes. So more has to be done outside the electoral system for sure.
It's just jokes. I like jokes. Actually, before I started the show, I was listening on Netflix to an old John Mulaney. I like comedy. Can we consider, though, possibly, that maybe it's not two disconnected things, that more and more people are joking like this online, and that more and more people think that violence is a valid tool in politics, and more people are stalking and attempting to kill politicians. Karen Bass's house is broken into. Nancy Pelosi was just almost murdered. Pramila Jayapal, guy had a gun outside of her house. Maybe these are not disconnected things. Maybe they're a part of the exact same social movement. Can we consider that? For more political news, breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.